President Donald Trump blasted former President George Bush in a statement Monday for warning about domestic extremism in his speech marking the 20th anniversary of September 11. President Trump said in a statement released by Save America PAC, "So interesting to watch former President Bush, who is responsible for getting us into the quicksand of the Middle East and then not winning. As he lectures us that terrorists on the right are a bigger problem than those from foreign countries that hate America, and that are pouring into our country right now." He added, "The World Trade Center came down during his watch. Bush led a failed and uninspiring presidency. He shouldn't be lecturing anybody." Bush compared violent extremists abroad to those at home during his September 11 speech at the Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Bush did not mention any specific group, though some media outlets reported his warning of growing domestic extremism alluded to the January 6. He said, "There's little cultural overlap between violent extremists abroad and violent extremists at home. But in their disdain for pluralism, in their disregard for human life, in their determination to defile national symbols, they are children of the same foul spirit." Bush had denounced the violent assault on the Capitol in a January 6 statement and called out the reckless behavior of some political leaders since the election, likely a reference to President Trump. President Donald Trump said Saturday that America's bold step to begin a direct dialogue with Pyongyang has opened the door to the reunification of North and South Korea and paved the way for a more peaceful world in the 21st century. Joined online by current and former heads of state and other prominent international figures for a major virtual rally, President Trump offered an optimistic call for unity and newfound cooperation around the world and for permanent denuclearization of North Korea, which has been a long-standing policy goal of both the United States and its unwavering regional friend and ally, South Korea. In one of his highest-profile public appearances since leaving office in January, he stressed there is no substitute for strong, creative, determined leadership from Washington. President Trump said at the digital Rally of Hope event, "I truly believe that an extraordinary future awaits the people of North Korea, and I have faith that if they pursue the path of denuclearization, they will make that future a magnificent reality. Until that blessed day comes, the indispensable force for peace on the Korean peninsula remains a strong America. As we have seen recently in other parts of the world, weakness only invites more violence and chaos." President Trump said, "The true task for all of us who pray for peace on the Korean peninsula is to ensure that our nations are not only great in power and rich in wealth, but even more, we must be strong in spirit. Every nation must summon the will to protect its citizens, its allies, and to leave a better world for its children. These are the forces and values that inspire change, that move countries, that make history, and that ultimately lead to peace." The rally, organized by the Universal Peace Federation and the seventh such event since August 2020, drew participants from across the globe, all united in the fight against oppression, poverty and racial discrimination. Saturday evening's event was part of Universal Peace Federation's Think Tank 2022 Rally of Hope initiative, designed to bring together prominent figures from across the world and across all sectors of society to examine all aspects of the unification of North and South Korea, organizers said. Hillary Clinton made a pitch Tuesday for California Governor Gavin Newsom, urging voters in an Election Day message to reject the recall and sounding the alarm about a dangerous Trump follower. Clinton tweeted, "Californians, don't sit out today's recall election. Vote no on question 1 to retain Gavin Newsom as governor and prevent a dangerous Trump follower from taking leadership of your state." Hillary Clinton, who lost the 2016 presidential race to Republican Donald Trump, was presumably referring to Republican Larry Elder, the conservative Los Angeles radio show host who leads the field of 46 recall candidates. Clinton's support comes the day after Joe Biden joined Newsom for an anti-recall event in Long Beach as prominent National Democrats rally behind the embattled first-term governor. House Democrats blocked an attempt by Republicans to means-test the electric vehicle tax credits in Joe Biden's $3.5 trillion social welfare and climate change package, drawing criticism that the subsidies will only benefit the wealthy. In a late-night hearing of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, Democrats killed an amendment by Representative Larry Bucshon that would have prohibited individuals making more than $100,000 a year from qualifying for tax credits or subsidies for electric vehicles or charging stations. The amendment would also have prevented the federal government from subsidizing purchases larger than $40,000. Mr. Bucshon, Indiana Republican, said, "I support electric vehicles. However, the subsidies we are considering here today are vague about incentives for electric vehicles and charging infrastructure, and they could allow the wealthy to reap benefits from the American taxpayers simply by purchasing electric vehicles." In arguing for the amendment, Mr. Bucshon noted that studies found that wealthy individuals already disproportionately use electric vehicle tax credits. A 2018 report by the Pacific Research Institute determined that nearly 80% of electric vehicle plug-in tax credits went to households with an adjusted gross income greater than $100,000 per year. Mr. Bucshon said, "The wealthiest individuals in this country don't need a handout from the American taxpayer for buying an expensive electric vehicle. Why not make sure the incentives are targeted to those Americans that truly need the help the most?" Democrats disagreed and killed the amendment in a party-line committee vote. While every single Democrat on the panel voted against the amendment, none publicly explained the reason for their vote. Joe Biden proposed significant incentives for people to buy electric vehicles as part of his proposed $3.5 trillion expansion of the federal safety net. The White House argues the transition to electric vehicles is key to combating climate change. Biden said during a visit to a Ford Motor Company electric vehicle plant in Michigan earlier this year. "The future of the auto industry is electric. There's no turning back. We're going to set a new pace for electric vehicles. The biggest detriment to transitioning away from gas-powered cars is the cost." Last year, Car and Driver magazine reported that the base price of a compact gasoline-powered car was significantly lower than its electric counterpart. The price of a Mini Cooper averaged around $24,000, while the cost of its electric counterpart ranged upwards of $30,000. The base price for a conventional Ford 150 starts around $28,000, but the entry-model, electric version will be priced at more than $39,000.